Welcome back to Angels and Bob's Factorio, and it's time for bots. Lots of bots. Well, hopefully lots of bots. Let's start up. So, last episode we decided we wanted these, the construction robot brains and the logistics robot brains. So now that I've researched them, they should be able to be produced. Hopefully it can find everything. Oh, it needs 2 inserters, that's why. That's slightly annoying, but not too annoying. Let's just move these power poles down one, and that should solve the issue, I think. Let's get one more power pole just for lights, because lights are always good. And then we just want... in fact, should we upgrade these to the fast ones? I don't think they'll ever need the fast ones. No, let's just keep them like this. And they just need to, again, pick up their opposite pickup tile position. Ah, facing the wrong way, that's why. Okay, so pick up and drop off. So pick up is over there, and the same thing for this one. Don't really have the space for that 90-degree faster mode, but that should start these up, and they should start producing robot brains, and they are, which are going to head down this way and all the way over to our factory. So what else did we need? Robots. So, flying robot frame, we need a brain and the tools. The tools, if I remember rightly, we said that they were just iron or steel or something like that. So, it's the frame that we actually want. What can we make the frame with? Electric engine units, batteries, basic electronic boards and steel plate. It's the electric engine units that we're going to want. Which you're going to need engine units and lubricant. It's lubricant we need to solve first. Okay, so let me just head over to the oil area. Now, remember when I said I built these really large tanks? It filled up with crude oil. So I think, do I still have that other one? Yeah. We can also put another one in. And that will continue to fill up with crude oil. So, lubricant, let's take a look at that. Here we are. So base mineral oil and residue. In fact, let's just go through this side of things, shall we? Lubricant. It's much easier to actually get through stuff if we go through this. So lubricant. Yep, so we want base mineral oil and residual gas. We definitely have residual gas. Base mineral oil is going to come from crude oil. And we're going to get oil residuals and naphtha. Now, naphtha can be reused. When I got a comment saying we can use it for other stuff. In particular... it can also produce, I think, is this one of the ingredients for propane? Yes, it is. Yeah, we need red metal catalysts, unfortunately, for that. That requires some ores, but we can get through to propane. Okay, so not that we need that for now. What we definitely need, however, is to get our base mineral oil. So we're going to have to process this, and of course we do that in an oil refinery. As you might expect, I may already have constructed a few. Oil refinery? Did I not make any? Ah, okay. I need to go get some steel plate then. Be right back. Okay, we're making refineries, and I did get a question about ore actually, and I do have infinite ores on, so just in case you missed that comment. Although I have infinite ores, these aren't actually infinite. If we go out to, let's say, over here somewhere, some of these ore patches, we can, and there we go. Yeah. So in the middle of that, if I remember rightly, there is an infinite ore patch. Yeah, but it doesn't give us that when we're in the starting area. So we have to expand. We can't just stay here. But it is useful to know. If you have the infinite ores, you can expand, but you don't have to then spend the entire game just expanding and expanding and expanding. Yeah. So, where were we? Yes, oil refineries, and we also needed residual gas. We're going to need that from somewhere else, and it is part of this pipeline somewhere. I just have to remember where. That looks like it. Yes, it is. So remember, this is set up with, once it's too full, it will burn it off in the flare stack. However, we're going to want to use that, so we can bring it all the way down here and pass it underneath these, I think. Got plenty of pipe to grounds. So we just bring it down. And we'll decide what to do with it after we get through these. So with these, I'm going to take off the crude oil. In fact, they are connected to each other, so I don't need a bar across there or anything. So that will be fine. I don't know how many refineries I'm going to need. Let's just set something up. So let's put in a refinery. And let's make sure it's separated like that at the moment. Put these boilers there instead. And connect that up. Give it some power. These don't have power connected already. And someone mentioned why I don't have the better power poles as well. Do you want to know why? It's because I didn't research them. Yes. Power distribution, is it called? Electricity distribution, something along those lines. Yeah, there we go. Electric energy distribution, it's like 120 of these. So, yeah, I will research those next once we got through worker robot speed. There we go. If I can get the words out. So here we want lubricant. And will you let me produce... That's 100 crude oil. This one is crude oil and gas condensates. It makes more of the thing we want, but what is gas condensates? Okay, condensate instead, maybe? Yeah, so what do we need that? So we can turn natural gas into raw gas. That's the other... Yeah, that's the other thing that I was going to do. I was going to, instead of using multi-phase for everything, I was going to use the gas output. But I forgot to do that, so let's just leave just crude oil for this recipe. So we just use this one. Doesn't produce as much of the output that we want, but it's okay otherwise. So here we have the output we want. And we're going to get the other one from here, so we can connect the one, and not connect those two, but have them both feeding into something. In this case, it's going to be a chemical plant of some kind, so let's get a chemical plant, and let's see which way around it wants to connect those. So we want... What does it want again? Lubricant? Should be around here somewhere. Lubricant. So it wants that gas to the top, which is exactly what we have, which makes a change. I'm actually happy about that. Yes, there we are. So let's just connect these up like this. Then just in case we need to have more going down that way, we have a bit of room to maneuver. There we go. That's one. And this can be connected like that. And we're going to need a bit more pipe. So let's just build some more straight pipes. Just as you might expect. We've got 3 outputs. So we can probably, or we're probably going to end up with more of these going across, but for now, I don't need to worry about it. I'm just going to make sure that they're connected to tanks of some kind. And we can see which tanks we want to build. We can make the cheap storage tanks. That needs a lot of iron, so let me just put a storage tank in for now. And I'm going to have to go and get some more iron anyway. It was electricity we're going to research next, wasn't it? Electricity. There we go. And I've got a tank here. So that's the naphtha. Flammable. Well, all of this is flammable. And yeah, we've got the fuel oil as well. I think we can convert that into petroleum. Possibly even diesel. So I'm going to have to go and get something else to get that working. However, in the meantime... we should have this producing lubricant. Yeah, there we go. So we've got lubricant, and we've got to get that, unfortunately, to wherever we're going to make the robot frames. So the frames need batteries, basic electronic boards, and steel plate. That's all the way over the end of the factory. And these electric engine units, of course, which are probably going to be all the way over the end of the factory anyway, because they're the ones that need the lubricant. Actually, I wonder if we can make the engine... Yeah, we've got basic electronic boards not far away, and we can make motors and engine units with... Oh, and it's steel as well. So we're going to have to pipe it over anyway. No problem. Okay, so I've piped over the lubricant, and we've also, it's not much of it yet, but I've also belted over the basic electronic boards that we were just buffering up in that chest. So we've got everything approaching the right area. I've pulled in some iron here and some steel on this side, and then we're going to set up some kind of area for this. So let me just grab some assembly machines. We're going to set this up in a similar way to what we had a little bit further up. So let's just put those in place. We're not there. Like that. And we're going to want, what was it? Was it engines? Engine? Yeah, that requires one of the engine units. Okay, and that requires then these things. So we're going to need motors in the middle, likely. Which is going to need iron and gear wheels, so we can get gears on this side. And what did you want on this side? You wanted pipe as well, didn't you? So we can put pipe in. And that should be a sort of one unit. And then we're going to need to take that. And did I just make an extra assembling machine? I thought I did. Maybe not. Maybe I just made the precursors. Put a couple of those on queue. We're going to need to take that, and we're going to need to get into the electric engine unit. So we're going to need to take the engine unit, an electric motor, which we can get from a regular motor. That's a bit of a shame. We have it here. Yeah, well, let's rearrange this a little bit then. We might be able to do it this way around. Where are you? Gears need to go into the electric motor, don't they? So I need to move everything up by one. Let's just reset that back down again. So let's say we do pipe first, then we put gears in, then our regular motor, and off in this direction we want our engine unit, and then off over in this direction we can do the next step. So pipe, gears, motor, and okay, and we're gonna need copper over here as well, and this is probably going to be our electric motor, engines. Okay, so what does the electric engine unit need again? Electronic boards, motors, which we could be able to direct insert probably. Both of these can go feed into one machine. So we just need lubricant and basic electronic boards to here. What have we put here? So let's say electric engine units, electric. There they are. And of course it's going to need lubricant as well, which is coming in on this pipeline just through here. So we'll be able to feed that in. Let's put some power poles down just so we've got things roughly powered. Something along these lines maybe. And then, you know, for next to this belt at the bottom as well. Okay, so let's just feed power in. All right, so we got iron going in there. We're going to need to put this onto a belt to feed to this, so that is fine. Ish. You also need the gears, so we need to feed onto opposite sides of the belt, but that is again fine because we've got configurable belts. So that can go on that side. So if we set this to drop on this side, yeah, I love that trick. Okay, so we can then put our regular inserter here. Cool, and that means we can then just put one here, and we need more power poles. I need to move these into nicer positions. And then from there into here, from here into here, and we're mostly done. And when I say mostly, what else do you need? You need steel, so we're going to need to bring steel across. I only got enough for one splitter, but that's fine. I could always make more. We could bring steel in here. And that should be everything once this starts making stuff, which it needs iron for. And I should probably feed these, speed these up to fast inserters. Are you all being pulled by this one? Oh, you don't need motors. Oh no, you've already got motors. Ah, that's fine. You just need steel. Yep. Being a little bit crazy, but that's okay. There we go. So we got some steel coming in this way. And then feeding in, and then do we need that for the next stage? Yes, we do. So let's pass you on. Okay, so now we have everything we need. You need copper, and you need to be past each of these. So we need the basic electronic boards to here, and we also need copper to here. Copper isn't much of an issue. We've got copper right here. And for now, I'm just going to curve it and send it this way. Tidy it up later. Okay. Oh, nearly. I need another machine to make that. So assembly machines. I'm out of iron, it looks like. That's thankfully an easy problem to solve. We'll just make a single machine making copper cable. Yeah, there we go. In fact, we couldn't even make it with these, I think. Will you make copper cable? You will. Okay. So if I just run you here, for argument's sake, we can tell it to pick up from there. And that's pretty fast. Okay, so enough copper cable. That's going to feed in. This is going to feed into here. So we're going to need basic electronic boards, which we have all the way over there. So we can feed it in on this top side, maybe. And then we're going to need to feed that out as well. So let's just make sure we got everything available in the same block space. Let's just put in some pipes. And just make sure that's connected. Then we can pull out the pipe this way. And it's one off. No big deal. Pipe to ground. Not pi. Although pi to ground would be pretty cool as well. And we'll just hook that in. And in the meantime, we can bring in the basic electronic boards this way. And snag them. From there. And I think that's everything. I think we'll just be able to feed it back out this way. So we'll have electric engine units on this belt. Whoops. There we go. And we've got some pipe to ground just to get these connected. Let's just go via this way. And then just two regular pipes. Okay, in goes the lubricant, and the production started up, so it's making electric engine units. So that's the first part of the flying frame. Okay, so I've built it in the batteries this way. We've got the electric engine units coming in this way, and then we've got basic electronic boards joining with steel plate, and we've got two belts here. So we can start up with this, and we're going to start right about here, and we're just going to make gear wheel? Yeah, gear wheels. And what does that need? Is it just the various frames? I want to say it's the frames. Yeah, it's going to be the tools, isn't it? So these are going to be the frames, these are going to be the tools. Okay, so we need another one, let's say there. And if we're feeding in something like this, then these can be the tools. One there and one here. And we can just directly feed into both of those maybe. It's fast enough. It looks like it is going to be fast enough. It does need steel as well though, but that's okay because we've got steel on this line. We can just borrow that. And you also need steel, so we can borrow you. And then that should be everything for these. Okay, so I think I've got everything working here. It's a little bit slow, but mainly because of these. We'll come back to that in a second. So we've got both of the tools being put onto one belt with that trick again. And they are going to go around here and be picked up by these pair that are set to offset to one belt. So this is going to feed both our logistics robots and our construction robots. And again, on the output's going to go to this belt where they've got both of these quite nicely. I'm going to send them these to wherever we want them. And below this, we've got the flying robot frames, which is the other ingredient for these two. Very straightforward to set up. We've got all the ingredients on these two belts now, so we just feed them in. Now, these are much slower than these. So we're probably going to need more of these going this way to keep up with the production of these. Obviously, this top yellow brain, is that the... I don't have any in my inventory. Which one is that? Logistics. Yeah, so that's being starved probably by the production of the green side of things. So I'm going to have to go and check that out and figure out what's holding back on those. Otherwise, we're fairly fine. We've got the basic electronic boards. We've got batteries. That's a bit starved as well. So again, once we're starting to get bots, as long as we keep feeding this to build up a stock of them, it'll slowly get better over time. Obviously, you can see it is still producing stuff. It just takes a while because it's held back by the engines at the moment, which is held back by iron, which is you know, it's a whole other it's a whole other game of bottlenecking with the iron. So yeah, there's plenty to do, just not anything that's majorly interesting on camera. So I thought I'd leave the construction of the final bots over here. I know it's pretty dark on camera, so let me just zoom in so we can get some light on the subject. Yep. So we've got this set up, and this should work quite well. Now, we also need to look at roboports, and I think I'm going to leave that till the next episode. The roboports themselves aren't too hard to build. Steel plate we've already got nearby here anyway. The antenna arrays, we've got everything we need. Electric motors, those third tier of circuit boards, everything there. Charging ports, the same thing. It's only the hatch door, and the hatch door needs concrete, which needs us to go and figure out a water setup to produce concrete. And I don't actually have that. I don't have that researched. So yeah, I'm gonna have to leave that till the next episode. Was concrete? Concrete? Huh. Odd. Don't have that researched. That is needed for walls and for nuclear power. Yeah, concrete would be useful there. Oh, I didn't probably research it because it was 250 green and 250 red. But we are going to need that for the roboports. Now, next episode, once I get to roboports and I have a few of them built, what we'll then be doing is having to select things to demolish. And maybe you want to say in the comments below what is probably best to bot first. I'm tending towards furnaces, but it's up to you guys entirely if you have any different opinions. Because what we're going to be doing is largely tearing stuff down. We're going to be setting up roadways and roboports and laying them out so we have a regular grid. We don't have to take too much care with it, just to make sure it's fairly regular. And then build production units like this, but not necessarily connected by belts. At least they might be the first, but once we have enough bots to transport stuff, we don't need to worry much about belts anymore. So, maybe your comments. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think should be done first with bots, and we'll go from there if you have experience with angels and bobs anyway, because yeah, it's quite different to the vanilla game. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. We've got bots out of the way. We've got it up and running. And next episode, it's roboports. So if you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up. Otherwise, just let me know why in the comments. Let me know what you want to see. And hopefully we'll see you next episode. Thanks for watching.